Okay, so we're going to wait until it's exactly 7 p.m. and then we're going to start with the info session. Okay, guys, it's 7 p.m., so I think we can start, and anyone else could just catch up with the stream. So we're streaming live on YouTube from this Google Meet meeting where we're going to be speaking and sharing the content. So before we can get started, I'm just going to thank all of you for signing up for the club. Those who signed up officially on the LAU banner, thank you for signing up. And those who didn't, no worries, because we exist in two contexts. So we exist both on campus in LAU and as a DSC in the Google developer ecosystem. So yeah, you'll learn more about how to become officially a member through the Google ecosystem later on during this presentation. So before we can start, I want to introduce myself. So my name is Hala. I am a fourth year computer engineering student. So I was selected by Google back in July to be a DSC lead for this academic year at LAU. Given that there was no club on campus, I was tasked with the job of, creating this club on campus and initializing it. So this presentation, it's an info session. It's just going to inform you about everything related to our club, what we're going to do, what you're going to get as a member, and pretty much everything else. So yeah, just a side note, throughout the entire presentation, make sure to always, if you have any doubts or questions, type them in the live chat box in the YouTube stream. So I'm sure you can see that if you're on PC, it's on the right. And we'll be collecting those questions and stopping for questions at every checkpoint, and then we'll just address them. So no worries if you have any doubts. So yeah, so without further ado, let's get started. And I hope this will be an exciting event, and I hope you'll be excited about this club as much as we are. So um, another note before we begin, so this has to be our first slide because it's important for me to emphasize this, that we have a zero tolerance policy for harassment of any kind at any event of ours. So if you ever feel that a member of the DSC, of the core team, or anyone is harassing you, feel free to report directly to me. So this is Google's community code of conduct. We have zero tolerance for these kinds of things. And one other thing to keep note of is to always assume positive intent and practice saying yes to each other. So in this type of event, this is sort of a webinar, so you don't really care, don't really care. So you're not exactly collaborating, you're talking to each other as an audience. But later on in more hands-on workshops or events, we're going to be sort of collaborating, talking to each other. So make sure to always assume positivity, assume positive intent, and just don't fight. All right, so that's just a side note. That's something for you to keep in mind. All right, so with that, I ask you the question. How many of you want to work in tech after graduation? So obviously, we have a lot of people from the School of Engineering, so many people from computer science, as well as other people in different, majors and sectors who wish to, learn how to code. So how many of you want to work in tech after graduation? I'm just going to assume that a lot of you are. Do you have all the tools that you need? So this is a question that really Google asked itself when they established the DSC, and they learned that most students, whereas they really want to have tech careers, they want startups, they want to just launch their own career. They don't really have all the tools they need. This is where we come in as a DSC. So the DSC job is to bridge the gap between theory and practice for student developers. So at university, you learn the theory, you learn the math behind things, you learn a bit of programming, but really the practice goes down to each and every student and their personal work. So this is where we come in. We're trying to help you, and our goal is to simply equip you with all the necessary tools that you need to be able to survive in tech after graduation. And after we can help you by giving you these sort of tools, we want to be able to aid you and give you the tools so you can create impact. So we want you to take these sort of tools that we give you, these programming languages, technologies, whatever it is. We want you to take that, use it to build good solutions, things that will impact the community around you, or maybe open up your own startup. And that's really what we're here for. So if that's really what interests you, then you're in the right place. This is what our club exists to do. So let me just talk about the DSC itself. So the Developer Student Club as a club from Google. So far, do we have any questions? I know we're kind of early in the stream, but it's important to check. No questions? Okay, I'm gonna assume no questions. Okay. So the DSC, what is it, or what are the goals in more formal terms? So we want to help you grow your knowledge on developer technologies, specifically Google technologies, but not necessarily just Google stuff. So we want to teach you these different languages, skills. So we want to teach you how to develop mobile apps, web apps, machine learning, and all sorts of things. So I can't really list all of them, but we really hope to have a very diverse set of tools that we can give you. Other than that, we want you to gain industry experience by solving problems for your local organizations. So what do I mean by this? That okay, many people go to internships and that's where they get this experience and they learn new things and all that. But when we're going to meet together as a DSC, and you'll understand how and why later. I'll explain it later on in the slides. But you're just going to learn how to collaborate on just industry level products and these different higher level solutions than maybe a project that you're working on in your bedroom on a late Saturday night. So that's really what we're trying to do. And then we want you to bring these solutions that you build, showcase them, and then use them for the benefit of the community. We also really stress on the importance of community, and to show you how and why, I'm just going to play a video and show you this example. So this is a student who was part of a developer student club in Indonesia.
Awalnya Hastu bukan merupakan seorang diri, namun setelah dia ikut DSC, dia menjadi lebih percaya diri dan lebih tertarik untuk mendalami skill di bidang pemrograman Android. Saya bangga dengan Hastu di DSC, dia memiliki progres yang cukup signifikan.
Guys, I was told there was an issue with the audio, so I'm going to replay a part of the video and just so that it's clear for everyone and you can truly understand it, okay?
إسلام apakah berprestasi seorang developer karena software bisa berbeda dengan Android.
Okay, so just the idea of the video in general, I think there was maybe some issues with the audio for the video. So let me just tell you the idea and how this plays into our own DSC. All right, so the idea behind this video is that there was a student in Indonesia. She was a deaf student, and she didn't think that she could be a developer. So she joined the DSC, where she found another student who mentored her. And this student helped her by teaching her Android development and how to code in general. So this girl, she used her skills, her new skills, to help other people with hearing disabilities to create some new a product to help all of them and then benefit them in general. So that's basically the idea of a video for everyone who wasn't able to hear the audio. We had some technical difficulties, but no worries. All right, so let's move on. So, okay, we understood that there's this community that we're trying to build. What we talked about before with this girl in Indonesia and the way and her journey to becoming an Android developer and how she helped other deaf students, this plays into our own DSC by the idea of community. Because we want essentially an online community. I mean, online because we are currently online. An online community for students to be able to just reach out to other developers and create things and have mentors or learn from them, learn from their skills. So this is what essentially we're trying to do. So how do we build this community? The process is as follows. So Google selects a DSC lead once a year. So this is where I come in. We're already past this stage. Then the next step would be to get to know your developer community. So this is why this info session exists, to introduce you to this community, to be able to introduce you to the idea of DSC more. Now, like I said, many of you signed up for the LAU banner, so for DSC on LAU banner, whereas others signed up or will sign up on the DSC platform. So we'll tell you more about that in a minute. But at the end of the day, no matter where you signed up, you're going to get an email either after this event or after the majority of you sign up with a Slack invitation to a Slack workspace, and then you're going to exist as a community on it. Now, why am I saying this? So the goal behind this specific community is for us to reach out to each other as developers. So I'm going to give you an example and say what type of community we strive to have. So for example, Peter wants to develop an application that, maybe he wants his own startup or he wants to develop it for an NGO or a community problem. Peter is a very good backend developer. So I'm just giving an example. He's a good backend developer, but he lacks the front end skills. So he should be able to go to the DSC community and ask, hey guys, I have this app idea. I want to work on it. Would anyone like to work with it? Work with me on it? I need a front end developer. So this is essentially what I mean by community. And I really hope that together we're able to do this because it's really what we're striving to do. All right, so after we get to know our developer community, we have the activities kickoff. So we're going to be having workshops, projects, so things we collaborate on, and showcases. I'm going to go more in depth into the type of activities that we're going to have very soon in the presentation. And then, so for fall, mainly, we're going to be having these learning activities. So what do I mean by this? I mean that we're going to be giving you some skills. So we're going to teach you how to develop apps or teach you machine learning and all these things. And then this all goes up to the final goal of the DSC, which is in the spring semester. The spring semester, we would have, there's the Global Google Solution Challenge. So this is a global event. It's a challenge for people in developer student clubs to sort of build solutions for their communities. So you'll take maybe a problem that's local and you'll find a solution for it. I'm actually not going to go into detail about this right now because we have more slides on it later. But the idea is that for fall, you're just going to learn a lot. And for spring, you're going to take those skills that you learned, collaborate as a community, and then be able to create new things. All right. So yeah, that's really it for now. Are there any questions? So I think this is a good checkpoint.
No questions yet.
Okay, no questions. Let's continue. All right, so how do we exist at a DSC? So you sort of get what we are as a club and what we strive to do, but okay, you understand that this is a Google club. But how exactly does this work? So we're a subset of Google developer communities. These are communities that are backed by Google, but we're not actually Google employees. So please keep that in mind. We don't exist for the Google company. We exist inside of Google developers. The Google developer ecosystem includes four different things. So it's an ecosystem mainly of developer communities with the goal of, sharing knowledge, building projects, and all that. So you know the drill by now. Um, the first one is the developer student clubs. So these are communities within universities. You just learned what DSCs are. We are part of the Google developer ecosystem. Google developer groups, so GDGs. What Google developer groups are is they are exactly like DSCs mainly. So they help the community and all that, except they can exist outside university campuses. So yeah, you can have people of different ages and different areas of expertise in Google developer groups. So you can have professionals and students and all that. So it's just DSC but outside university. There are also Google developer experts. So these are people, these are individuals, not communities. You can be a Google developer expert later on, so not right now. So this is something that any of you are in that stage in your careers yet. You need maybe at least 10 years of experience and just have established yourself as a professional in a certain field. And women tech makers is exactly like GDGs, but for women specifically, dedicated to the empowerment and empowerment of women in tech. Okay, so like we said, DSC LAU is a subset of Google developer communities. We specifically operate within the Middle East North Africa Google developer community. So as a lead, I communicate with the Middle East North Africa Google developers as a core team. So the people who are selected to be part of the core team, they communicate also with the people in the Middle East North Africa region. So that's just for your information. So these pictures right here are just pictures of a GDG meetup versus pictures of a women tech maker meetup. So these are some examples of these communities. Okay. Now, okay, you understood everything about being part of the DSC, being a member, you get what the club is here for, but what do you expect as a member? So you might ask me, what do I get out of this? So our target as a club is both beginners and advanced developers. So here we're talking about people in their maybe fourth or fifth year who have been developing apps and web apps for a while now, and they know their way around things. And also absolute beginners. So people who haven't written a for loop yet are also welcome to be part of our club because we are a diverse and inclusive community of people of all levels and all ages. So no worries for that. And we really hope to have enough events that satisfy the needs of both these types of developers. So we're a community for learners of all skill sets, like I said, and it's a place for knowledge sharing, collaboration, and mentorship. So this way you'll always have, older students that you can reach out to if you're maybe a first year, and then figure out the answers for some questions. Okay. Any questions for now before I move on with the events?
No questions yet.
Okay, no questions. Cool. All right. So the types of events that you can expect. So by signing up for us, exactly what events are you going to expect to have? So workshops, obviously. So your standard hands-on workshop. These are going to be mixed between members of our core team. So our core team has a bunch of really good developers and people who are really good at what they do, but also experts from outside university and outside the core team. So the workshops will obviously aim to teach you how to code things. So these are more hands-on. Meanwhile, tech talks or speaker sessions, these are things that there's an expert, they come here and they talk to you about a specific technology, an industry, a hot topic, what's really trending, how that works and all that. But it's less about code, more about just, a talk. Study jams. Here, these are more peer-to-peer, so we're gonna work together to solve certain labs. So you'll learn what quick labs are at the end of this presentation. Showcases demo day. So I really hope we can manage to do this, but I cannot do this without you members. because this is where everyone would bring in maybe something they're working on, a project or an application or something. They would, display it for maybe 2-3 minutes, talk about it, say what it does. And then if anyone's interested with each other's project, they can follow up after the event. And hopefully we can, just really breed this era of communication and collaboration within the club. So hackathons as well. So, competitions, hopefully. I mean, it's not very feasible right now, maybe because we're virtual, unfortunately, but we'll see how we can manage them. Projects, so they're not exactly events, but mainly ways for you guys to collaborate. Boot camps, so we'll have these, maybe not right now. So I'll say towards the end of the semester, maybe even after the finals, this way so people can really dedicate their time to learning a specific skill set through a boot camp. Tracks, you'll learn more about these later, so I won't discuss this now. Solution challenge, like I said, this global Google competition that I'm also going to talk about later. Discussion panels with experts or maybe people who just have something in common and they want to come and discuss it, and much more. So yeah, really, we have so many diverse ideas for events, and we really hope to satisfy everyone and be able to cater to people of all different ages and skill sets. So here's something to look out for. So here's a rough outline of the events we have really close, so up and coming. We have an event for the more beginner people. So we have an event called Introduction to Software Engineering, Careers, Subdisciplines, and more. So what we're going to discuss in this event is the different subfields of software engineering. So you can come to this event if you're a beginner or a first year or something, and you can learn what exactly is a front-end engineer, what's a back-end, what's a full-stack engineer, what's machine learning, how does it differ from artificial intelligence, what is data science, just really what these different things are and more details about them and sort of how they work. This event is coming very soon, so I'm not going to give you a specific date because we don't have an email or a poster sent out yet, but it's very soon. So for first years, I definitely recommend, and anyone else who wants more of this general knowledge. Another event I'm really excited about is Intro to Quantum Computing with Python and Qiskit. So I have an expert coming for this event. I'm not going to reveal the name just yet, but this is a really exciting event. I think quantum computing is a very different topic, and this is going to be something, a bit unique from the things we're used to seeing. And I hope other people will really benefit from this one. So this will be during October. We also have a machine learning series for October. So an introductory machine learning series for everyone. And more details will be communicated about all these events really soon and much more. So we're not going to reveal all our cards yet. Okay, so you know everything about the club now. I'm gonna stop for questions before I mention this. Any questions?
We don't have any questions yet. No one's asking.
Okay. Okay, so I'm just gonna say this actually. If you have a question, type it please in the chat box in case you missed this during the beginning of the session. So if you have any doubts, any questions, you can type it in the chat box. Okay, so I'm gonna continue. How do we sign up? So you now know what the club is. Now you know all the membership perks, you could say. How do you sign up for the club? So before I go on to that, so there are two ways. So like I said, we exist within two contexts. The first context is the LAU banner, the way you guys signed up on the club sign up. So I have a very long list of names, everyone signed up. It was super exciting. So there's that. But also, there's another way for you to sign up to be sort of Google official, you could say. To sign up officially for Google, we have a membership platform. So you would go to dsc.community.dev. So stay on the lookout tonight on our social media because we're going to post a way for a tutorial for you guys to sign up on this platform in case someone doesn't get this during the info session. And we're also going to send it in a follow-up email. So we have this platform. You would go to this website, and then you would have access to every DSC worldwide. So you have access to any DSC and any event that's being held virtually. So events will be created and posted there. So as a member, you will get newsletters and emails notifying you about our events. And then you could also, RSVP for a certain event and get an email with the invite for the link. So the way you would sign up, you would go to dsc.community.dev, you would search for the LAU DSC, So no worries, like I said, there's a tutorial coming on our social medias later today. And this is where you would press join when you enter our LAU branch, and then you would sign up with your Google account. To sign up for a specific event, you will see the available events on our website, and you'll be able to sign up. So no worries. And yeah, that's how you would officially sign up. So at the end of the year, you would get a certificate from Google saying that you were a DSC member for the year 2020-2021. Okay? You also do get certificates for the technical events that you attend, but you get them in a sense where they're directed from us and not specifically from Google. But as a member, you get a certificate at the end of the year. Other than that, so all the members who sign up on the platform, they will receive an invitation to a Slack workspace. So we will have a Slack workspace, like I said, where we're all going to be able to talk, communicate, share resources, opportunities. So if I find a really interesting internship opportunity, I'm like, okay, guys, there's this opportunity. I'm going to share it with you on this channel. Whoever's interested can apply. We will collaborate on projects. So, like I said, there will be projects you can all talk to each other and collaborate, learn from each other, and all those things. So we will have multiple sub channels on the Slack workspace. So for example, we'll have an FAQ channel where you can ask us questions and all that. So one thing to note, joining the Slack is optional, but you will get this invite. We'll use it in place of a WhatsApp group, okay? If we do feel that the WhatsApp group isn't really working for the Slack isn't working for everyone, we will create a WhatsApp group, but we don't want to be too spammy in all cases. So we'll see. Before I allow Peter to speak. Any questions now? Let's see.
Yes, we have a question.
Okay,
Are the events more about the general idea and knowledge or actual hands-on learning?
Like I said, there will be both. So the reason that is because we have many first years among us, so we don't want to overwhelm them in a sense. So we also want introductory workshops for them, but we also want more specific things. So if you know Google, they own Firebase, for example. So we will give you an event on Firebase or how to use Firebase specifically with Flutter, for example. So yeah, we will be working on more specific events because I feel like this is really what we're here for. But we also can't really ditch the beginners. So I hope that answers it. Any other questions?
Yes, we have one more question. I didn't sign up on Banner. Can I still be part of the club?
Yes, so I mentioned this. So the way I just hopefully your question gets answered by the time you see this. You get to sign up on the DSC platform. So we'll send a follow-up email. We'll also be on the social media posting a tutorial how to sign up. This is more official than the LAU banner in all cases. So this is Google official. Banner is LAU official. So yeah, of course you can. And we're open to everyone, even if you're not a member in all cases. Okay, any other questions or we're done?
That's it for questions for now.
Okay, so Peter is a member of the core team. So we have a core team. The core team is basically a group of people who also work with the DSC lead to be able to run the club. And Peter is one of those members, and he'll be talking right now about Quick Labs. So I'm just gonna leave this for you, Peter.
Thanks. Hi, everyone. My name is Peter Saer, for those of you who know me and don't. I am a fourth year computer engineering student, and I want to talk to you about the part that Hala sort of glossed over, which is Quick Labs. So for those of you who don't know, Google's main focus is to make sure that everyone can learn to create, design, code, and build. That's their main slogan right now. And so they started an initiative called the Google Cloud Platform Crash Course, which is basically a way for them to encourage mainly us as students and developers to learn to use their online platforms and tools. So the way they do this is through a free perk we get as members called Quick Labs. We get a free subscription every month, and it's basically an online hands-on learning platform that teaches developers to use many different cloud tools, but Google being the most prominent among them. So every month, they send us what they call a track, which is 5 quests or courses that we should learn on Quick Labs. It's basically a way for telling us that month they want us to learn about this general topic. say machine learning or big data or data science. And each track, as I said, is made up of 5 quests. A quest is, you can think of it as a course. So it's multiple lab sessions in order, going from beginner to advanced. And when you finish it, you get an electronic badge that you get to show on your LinkedIn profile. Now, the cool part is that they actually encourage us to do this by giving us rewards when you finish each track. So when you finish a track at the end of the month, you get you fill out a form sent by them, and they send us rewards. Now, this would happen within 2 weeks pre-pandemic, so we don't know how it's going to happen now, but we will follow up in the future. And the rewards are actually pretty valuable. So a month ago, I think it was a Google Home device or something like that.
Yeah,
Now,
it was a Google Home. Yeah,
yeah,
like
okay.
Amazon Alexa of Google. Yeah.
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 So to go into more details, now we can show you what the tracks are for the coming months. Hello? Yeah. So this is basically it. Every month they send us a link to get a subscription. We'll follow up with how to do that in the future with a tutorial, so don't worry about that. Okay, but now in the coming months, these are the tracks they want us to learn about. Now in September was data science, but since we're nearing the end of September, we probably don't have enough time for it. So we're probably going to focus on October. Hello? Yeah. Okay. So October is a big one. It's machine learning, which I hope a lot of us are excited about. I know I am. So they're asking us to do all these 5 quests, and that would be the track to learn how to do machine learning on Google Cloud Platform. And before I continue, there's something I forgot to mention. The reason why Quick Labs is so cool is because they don't just give us these courses to follow along. They give us these courses along with full access to Google Cloud's paid features, just for us to finish the course as if we were actually doing it as a normal engineer in the industry working through Google's cloud platform. So if you were doing something about, say, BigQuery for machine learning, they would give you full access to BigQuery and full access to their machine learning pipeline on Google Cloud, so you can follow along with the backend of a full cloud platform behind you. And okay, so next we have in November is cloud engineering, I think.
Peter, before you continue, I just want to add something that when I told you the upcoming events would include a machine learning series, this is exactly why. So because October is machine learning month for Google, this is why we want to have these events to inspire you to follow up with these and actually do these tracks. Okay.
Exactly. So along with the track that will be in October, we're going to have our own events basically showing you how machine learning works and everything about it, hopefully. So then in November, we have cloud engineering. And in December, we have something interesting called the GCP challenges, which are basically sort of tests and challenges where they ask us to put ourselves in the place of an engineer and give us a task to run. They're still considered a track like the others, so they're not really that different from the ones before, but they're more of like a way to test your knowledge, so to speak. But a nice thing is that we can, if there's a month, say November, you didn't like the track, we can swap it out for a different one that more people would be more interested in. And we have access to all of these additional tracks from Flutter, Kotlin, design thinking, IoT, Android, UI. So if you didn't like cloud engineering, for example, we could switch it out for UX/UI. And yeah, that's basically it. It's one of the coolest parts of this.
Yeah, okay. Thank you, Peter. Let me turn it back on. Okay, so thank you, Peter, for covering Quick Labs. So yeah, I hope that everyone, his explanation was great. It's very clear. But yeah, that's basically it. So what we said about November being, cloud engineering month, we do recognize that not always people are interested in cloud engineering, but we'll see. So we'll do a poll, and if we feel no one's interested, we'll switch gears. But just keep in mind, there's no rewards if we change track. Okay, so I'm gonna continue the presentation. Okay, so next up is the Google Solution Challenge. So I believe this is the last thing we're going to cover. And yeah, so that's it. So I did mention the Solution Challenge before. Okay, we're not going to watch this video. Anyways, so the Solution Challenge, it's an annual contest that happens worldwide. So not just the Middle East DSCs, but all the DSCs of the whole world. And everyone submits projects. So what are these types of projects? So students build projects that sort of help a local community solve a certain problem, or even a local business. It doesn't have to be a community. And these projects are, higher level industry level projects. So you're going to take 3 months to work on this project. Now, don't feel intimidated. It's really okay. It's optional, first of all. Second of all, it's just there to inspire you to get real world experience by working on a real project for a real client. So this is essentially Google's goal here. So in case you never got to intern, you get to work with a business and build this for them. So like I said, we'll spend the fall learning things. So we're going to teach you stuff, and we're going to learn with you actually. So we're all going to collaborate and learn from each other as a community. Then we move on to spring. We're still going to learn some stuff, but mainly we're just going to be applying all the knowledge that we gathered to build this. The condition to take part of this competition, you have to be part of DSC. So you can either be lead, a core team member, or a regular member. So this is why you need to be signed up on the DSC platform, so dsc.community.dev. Again, we have a tutorial coming tonight on the social media. So yeah, so you have to be registered in DSC. And we can have multiple teams within the same DSC. So not the entire club working on projects. So we're not a company. Maybe 3 people want to work on a project, 15 on a project, maybe one person wants to work alone. No worries. You can definitely choose whatever you want, and then you find a local issue and you solve it with tech, so with software or even hardware. And yeah, and you would submit it to Google, and there are really promising rewards for people who do win. So last year, 10 people won, I believe. None of them were from Lebanon, but that's okay. Maybe this year we'll be lucky. So yeah, is there anything else I want to mention with this? Really, there really isn't. So here we have an example of a Indonesia flood alert app. So this app was created by a DSC in Indonesia. So this is separate from the app that the girl who had hearing disabilities also created. So they created an app that uses AI to be able to alert people before a flood happens. So they train their AI based on certain data that they had. So I don't really know the details. I'm not gonna play this video because of issues with the audio and technical issues. But yeah, so yeah, um, that's really it for the solution challenge. And one thing that we can, utilize the current state of our country. So we have economic problems and social problems. Is that we can find something that we want to solve and work on it. And I'm always open to ideas, and I'm pretty sure everyone is. And if you do have an idea but no one else to work with, you can always reach out to the community on Slack and find partners. So these are other examples of solution challenge creations. So here, this DSC created a walk that changed healthcare. So they encourage people to walk more, and better trackings for patients and their healthcare workers. So with doctors, so doctors could be able to just detect your activities or something like that. A developer stream club in Ghana, they created an AR navigation map for their malls. So that's also another thing that you can do. So really, that's it. You find either a problem you want to solve. So there's an economic crisis. You want to maybe help businesses. You create an app that helps the businesses, something like that. Or you find a client like a business, and you also create something that solves their issues. So yeah, and like I said, this is more in spring. So we start in January 2021, and I really look forward to that. So yeah, that's basically it for the DSC. Do we want to stop for questions? Are there any questions?
Yes, we have a couple of questions.
Yeah.
First of all, we have, do the courses have an access time limit?
No, there are no. Okay, let me tell you this. So there are no access time limits for the courses, but like I said, like Peter said, for example, data science is the monthly track for September. You can solve data science stuff in October. You have the freedom to solve any course, but you won't get a reward. That's the thing. So there are no limits, but there are limits on the tracks, so you can get the rewards. So for machine learning, You have from the start of October till the end to work on these machine learning labs and quests, and then submit the form and get a reward in exchange. But you have access to all other courses, and we'll give you a free month every month. So it's essentially free as long as the DSC exists on campus. So yeah, another question?
Another question is, are the tracks for all levels?
Yes, exactly. So here's the thing, the tracks use the Google Cloud platform. So if you're way too much of a beginner that you've never coded in your life, there are still other tracks that they will link you to within, okay, let's say you're solving the first track, and they will link you to another track that previously exists. And they will tell you, go to this so you can learn how to use the Google Cloud platform. And if there is large interest, we can have an event that sort of gives the basics of the Google Cloud platform to everyone. So we'll solve that getting started with GCP lab together. We'll do this as a study jam. And then everyone can learn how to use the platform, and then they can just go ahead and learn the quest that they like. So I hope that answers your question. Anything else?
Yeah, another one is, will they reteach tracks? I'm not sure it's a clear question, so I've asked for clarification and we're still waiting on that.
So will they reteach tracks?
Yeah.
Is that okay? I'm trying to assume what this question means. So the tracks, if you mean that if we'll recover them another time, maybe. I mean, there's no limit to how many times we can have a machine learning event. But we're gonna try to abide by machine learning for October because I feel like there is large interest in machine learning. And for cloud engineering, we're gonna ask. We're gonna see how many of you are interested because we don't want to do something that no one cares about. Cloud engineering is a bit different. And as for the additional tracks, we're gonna try our best to teach materials from them and give you as much access to as many resources as we can. So I hope that answers your question. And all events will always be recorded and uploaded to our YouTube channel. So just like this one. So if you don't care about machine learning in the fall, but you suddenly care a year later, you can always go back to that video. So yeah. Anything else?
That would be it. Questions now?
Okay. Okay, so basically I just want to end with these two things. So join our community, sign up on dsc.community.dev. So this is the website I told you guys about. Again, we're going to have a tutorial at the end of the day, so tonight. Watch out for it on our Instagram, and you'll see exactly how to sign up officially and get your Google certificate at the end of the year. And yeah, so I already mentioned this. These are the upcoming events that you can look out for. So for beginners, make sure to check back for the Intro to Software Engineering, learn more about the different careers and the different subfields of software engineering, and the other events as well. So machine learning for October and Intro to Quantum Computing also in October. So yeah, that's basically it. Thank you, and we'll stop for questions again, and we're actually going to
have a
yeah.
We have a couple of questions.
Okay.
When will we know about the date of software engineering event?
Very soon. So very soon. Just look out for it in the next 2 days. The thing is, I personally, like, not me. So the DSC team, me and the core team, we set a date, but we cannot share a date until we have faculty approval from the university. So once we do get this green light, we'll share the date with you guys. If you follow us on Instagram, you'll see it, and you'll also get an email about the event. Okay.
Also, someone asked, is there a fixed schedule and time for the events?
Exactly what I just said. So we have, internally we have some dates. Some things are rough outlines, some things are set dates, but we cannot share dates with you until we have green lights from the faculty. Also, one thing to note is that yeah. So yeah, that's really it. So there's nothing else I wanted to say. Oh yeah, now I remember. This is so stupid, but yeah. So all events will be in 6 p.m., 7 p.m. time range because we know everyone has labs and their classes end late. I'm personally not too big on weekend events, but we're also gonna do some polling and we're gonna see exactly how you guys prefer to have the events so that we can cater to everyone and wants and needs. That's basically it. Anything else?
That's it for questions now.
Okay, so given that this thank you, any questions is the last slide, I'm gonna keep it open for maybe a few more minutes. So in case anyone else has any questions, so I'm gonna stay within the stream. If someone doesn't have any questions anymore, feel free to leave. Thank you very much for attending this event, and I hope it was useful, and I hope it gave you enough guidance for our club. Just keep alert for the follow-up email with the steps on how to get the free Quick Labs month, as well as how to sign up on the DSC platform. So yeah, I'll be staying here for a few more minutes, and Peter, you can leave as well. Your work here is done. So we're still streaming for a few more minutes. Feel free to ask any questions in the comment box. And thank you to everyone who attended. So I'm gonna thank you guys again. I'm really happy with the response that we received after we shared that we have a DSC and after we shared the news. So yeah, thank you guys, and hopefully we'll have a lot of members on the platform. Okay, so we'll stay streaming for a few more minutes. And you're welcome to everyone saying thank you, and we hope to see you with us in the rest of the events.
Someone's asking, what's the page name on Instagram?
Okay, so it's DSC LAU concatenated. You can type it in the chat box if you want to tell them. By the way, we are officially in Byblos, but we are open to all members from Beirut, okay? So just keep that in mind. Okay, we can end in a couple more minutes. So Elias, at 7:48, you can end the stream. Any questions showing up? Or are we good?
No questions. I think we can end the stream now.
Okay, let's end the stream.